Hey up everybody, and welcome back. Well, as you may have noticed from the video's title and my dress code today, I'm not actually doing much. I went out on a trials bike, well it's a week ago now, and had a ride around, did all my sections, everything was fine, came back to the workshop, took my boots off, tidied up a little bit, walked across the road and got the post, walked up to the house, which is about 200 yards away. Got me dinner and everything because Linda was away for a few days. No problem at all. Next morning I woke up and my knee was swollen and I couldn't walk. So, as I said, that was about a week ago. Swelling's gone, but I must have put a little tear in my meniscus because it's clicking like mad. So, I haven't been down here at all, and for a little while as well, I'm not going to risk jogging my knee at an angle or anything by moving bikes around. But since it was a couple of weeks since you'd seen me, and I know you do miss me, I thought I'd show you a bunch of bits that I've at least bought in the meantime. So let me zoom you in and I'll show you some stuff we've got for this. Right, well, I got some clip-ons. Can't remember whether I showed you these or whether you maybe just saw them in the background, but they're really nice. They're all aluminium, beautifully made, and $30 odd, I don't know, 25 quid, something like that. But they're adjustable. They clamp up on the bar itself, which is just a nice aluminium tube, and then they're a nice hefty clamp onto the forks. So I got those, and as I say, I fitted them. I was going to fit all these bits, but as I say, I didn't want to risk anything lifting this up so I could take the top yoke off. So the other thing I bought was a pair of handlebar levers, clutch lever for that side, and a master cylinder for this side. Now they came in black, but I didn't want black. So as you can see, I got the black off and started polishing them up. The other thing was, I wanted, when I put this on, for that to be able to go right out there. Now funnily enough, this one does, because it's sort of this oblongy shape. But the couple that I had, Yamaha and Kawasaki, all fouled this. So these came in 7/8, which is what these handlebars are, or 1 inch. And they're just a safe foul there, so I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll get the 1 inch ones, and then I'll make a little sleeve. And that'll give me another 1/16 of an inch to clear that. So that's what I did, and I made the sleeves. But as I say, funnily enough, because of the way these are shaped, there's masses of shape. I could have got the 7/8 ones, but they will go on like that. Now, I'm pretty sure I showed you that I had clonk switch gear, but the same there, it was black. So I've started cleaning this off, and that will all be polished up. And don't worry about the little name things, because I found a place online. The hell do they call them? I can't remember. I'll look it up and put it in the note thing under the video's title. But apart from selling all sorts of tank and side panel decals and things, they sell a complete little set of these, you know, on, off, high beam, low beam type thing. These little stickers that go in there. So I can get all this cleaned up and then just buy some nice new stickers for that. So they'll go on. The other thing I wanted then, of course, was headlamp and headlamp brackets. And I do not like those clampy on type ones, you know, with the little bent clip thing. They look nasty. So when I was looking around, I found these. Now aren't they nice? Look nice, solid. So they will go on there like that. Again, I guess it's the magic of just being able to program a CNC machine, and then it can bang these things out on its own, more or less. But a pair of these were only $30 odd as well. So we got them. Put them away. So then I needed headlamp. So there we go. Nice 7-inch type chrome headlamp. I got some couple of stainless steel bolts. This of course is metric, so they're 8mm. So again, I'm using stainless steel so that I can dome the top and take the stampings off and make them look really nice. So that will go in there like that. Now the next thing of course we're going to need is clocks. Well, I have a bunch of Yamaha 650 stuff, and this must be funny hearing this disembodied voice, but because we're using the 650 front wheel, of course the speedo is going to be perfect off the Yamaha 650. But a little bit of research, I found out that the ratio, the gear ratio in the clock for the rev counter is 5:1 on the XS 650. It's also 5:1 on this XS 750. So I can use the pair of clocks, which I had. I have a very nice pair of clocks. And these covers, which go on somehow like that. Now there's a rubber doodad that goes in there, which of course is just about perished. But there's a place in Pennsylvania called Speed and Sport in Bloomsburg, and they have this colossal inventory of old Yamaha spares, all brand new, you know, all NOS. And sure enough, they had these in stock. It said they had 6 of them, so I bought 2 of them so we can fit that. So what I'm going to do is make up a nice aluminium mounting plate to go on here. Now someone did mention, was I going to cut off the handlebar mounting things to sort of smooth all this the way I'd done with the Kawasaki ones? And I mentioned when I replied to his comment that no, I had a plan for these. And we've got 4 nice big bolting points there. So what I'm going to do is make a plate that comes from there. It's going to dip down a little bit, and then the clocks are going to go on there. So there'll be the 2 clocks. I've got another one, but now I don't know whether to bolt these on onto the plate or into the plate. I think it's going to have to be onto the plate because of the way these are. These bolt straight on. There's nice little dome nuts for these, and I don't really see, to be honest, how that fills that gap all that well. These are just called dampers in the parts book. You know, I wasn't even sure they were the right things, but they looked right on the drawing, and sure enough, they have come, but I've left them up at the house, and they are identical to that. So I'm hoping that fills that gap up nicely. If not, I'll have to do something. But I think the easiest way is going to be to mount them onto the plate rather than through the plate, because then I'd have to start to make up something to come down to catch these. So there we're going to have 2 clocks nicely on an aluminium plate, canted up a little bit probably, just like that. Then I also found, in amongst bits and pieces, an ignition switch. So that'll go in between the clocks. The ignition switch with key and bits that fall off. What was that? Oh, it's just a washer. It's alright, it's just a washer from the little bolt that goes in there. So that'll go in between the clocks. 2 nice clocks, nice chrome headlamp. These, I'm not sure if when I've got the clocks on, how the cables will go. You can see that a bit like this. But these are actually, as I say, only aluminium tube. So I could always shorten these, and then if whoever buys it or some other owner down the road wants them longer, he can just get some 7/8 aluminium tube and put them in. But once I've decided how long they're going to be, which is about this long from the looks of it, let's have a look see here. That goes on there like so, and see, that goes on there. So actually they're going to be a little bit shorter. So as I say, I might cut the inside end off that for clearance for the cables. Alright, so I'm going to make that out of 1/8" plate, and I have something else which I've just bought, which hasn't arrived yet, which you will see, for bending the plate. It's really good. As I say, you'll see it when it arrives. And so when I've done that, oh, and I've also ordered a rev counter cable and a speedo cable. So this front end is going to be absolutely complete. So we'll get all that put on, and then what I'm going to do is move to look, I think, at the saddle and the rear mudguard. we have that to do, and I'm pretty much certain I'm going to build the rear saddle. I'm going to make it out of aluminium, and then we'll have to see if Linda can upholster a saddle cover for me. And then the other thing it struck me I need is a stand. Now, because I cut the plates, I'll tell you what, this is stupid. Let me pull you back so you can actually see me. Right, there we go. So, because of cutting the engine plates, I'm not sure if I can put a centre stand on. I always like centre stands. If not, we'll have to put a prop stand on, or a kickstand as they call it here. So we're going to have to do that to the bottom of the frame or to the engine plates, but can't look at that until I put it up on the table and look underneath. And as I say, I'm not going to start driving bikes around when I might just twist my knee and this minor tear becomes something major. So that's it for what we've got to do on this. In fact, when we've done those couple of things, got this front end right, and put the saddle and a prop stand or whatever, I'm going to have to build the engine, because we well, I can put the wiring on, I guess, and even make the starter motor spin and flick the points to make sure I get sparks. So I guess we can finish the electrics off, because obviously once I got this end on and a saddle made, we'll have a rear light. I'm not going to put indicators on it. The simple reason for that is that the wiring harness is complicated enough as it is. I might have to dismantle the wiring harness slightly and just use sections of it and then tape it up back together. I don't know. But I honestly, even my Enfield Interceptor that I restored, I put indicators on that. So I might change my mind, because riding on today's roads, you really need them. But I'm not going to be riding it. And to be honest, it's going to be a bit of a poseur's bike, I think. Might be wrong. But certainly we're getting close towards the engine. Alright, that's about it. I've blathered on enough. Hope that keeps you satisfied for a little bit. I'm not sure how long. I'll probably be able to get round to these, because I can maybe get my neighbour to give me a hand to just put this up so that I can take the top yoke off, and then I can do all that, and then I can do wiring and everything virtually sitting on a chair. So we'll probably have something for you for next week. But that's it for this week, I think. Oh no, I tell you what, I'll show you something in a little drawing, because it'll be easier to explain that. It's actually about the Harley topper. Now, the Harley topper swinging arm thing got quite a few comments. In fact, one person was so bent out of shape that I didn't answer his comment immediately that he wrote back admonishing me and then said he'd unsubscribed. I guess people are getting pretty thin-skinned nowadays. Anyway, and what I had was a couple of people had found the same advert that I saw on eBay for a swinging arm with the springs, but they noticed something I didn't. They noticed that the sort of bolts that were sticking out each end of the spring weren't dead straight. They were sticking it out at an angle each end. Obviously, it wasn't a through bolt. So this is the way it works, right? We have that frame tube, that main frame tube, and on that is a fixed point. Also on that is a sort of stop. Now down here we have the mounting, and we have our swinging arm. It's a pretty crappy drawing, but never mind. So the wheel goes in there. There's also a bit that sticks up here, and it has a rubber pad on it. Actually, the rubber pad might be on the frame. I can't remember which way around it is, but I think it's on here. So what we're going to have is sort of a bolt and a bolt there. So that's fastened to the frame, that's fastened to the swinging arm, and then here, captured on those bolts, is going to be an extension spring, so that when the wheel goes up and this goes that way, we're going to pull that apart, just like the front suspension is. And the only form of damping is that it's going to bump up against this. It's got this rubber bumper on. So that's the way it works. I'm not exactly sure if this is bolts or if, as the front spring is, the end of the coil actually goes into a ring so you can put a bolt through it. But that's the way it works. And as I say, the thing that threw me was on the photograph I saw, you could see bolt ends. Well, you could see threaded rod at each end. And I just assumed, because there was threaded rod on the frame, that it went right through, and that's what made me think I don't see how this works. But of course, if they're just individual bolts and the spring can extend, then it will work. So that's that. Alright everybody, I'm going to go and put my foot up again, and I'll see you when I see you, and in the meantime, enjoy yourselves.